Stories that are untold, underreported, and all-out inspirational. Carey Pena reports.
Hey guys, I'm Carey Pena. Thank you so much for listening to Carey Pena Reports on iTunes and on Stitcher, and for watching our shows on Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you get alerted to all of our new episodes, and be sure to connect with us at inspiredmedia360.com. We have a lot going on. We have an important interview to share with you today as well. In studio, Scott and Marla Berger, and you guys have been on the podcast before. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Always an honor to be here.
So many incredible things going on in your life that I can't wait to share with the audience. I thought it was important to have you all here today because there are a lot of troubling things happening in our world.
Yes.
That cause a tremendous amount of fear, anxiety, sadness. You guys are seeing sort of the flip side. You're seeing a lot of beautiful things happening, a lot of positivity, and it all has to do with the power of intention. Yes. So let's start there. I want to kind of lay the foundation about why you feel so strongly about the power of intention. Scott?
Oh, it's our words. It comes from our hearts. It's when we're asking, from above, we say God, the universe, the source, whoever that may be for that individual. But when it's something pure from your heart, it's being heard, and it's actually turning into actual things, from thoughts to words to actually happening.
And as you've described it to me, it's a lot more than wishing something will happen.
Correct.
What's the difference?
Well, as Scott started to explain, thoughts or beliefs turn into things. And everything has a cause and an effect. An intention has a cause and an effect. And you cannot have an effect without the cause. And that is an intention. So like gravity or physics, what goes up must come down. What we put out will come back. So if you're worried, more worry will come back to you. If you put out what is, more of what is will come back to you.
So this led you guys to launch the Tree of Life movement. And for our audience, both watching on Facebook and YouTube, and also our podcast listeners, you are very successful jewelers. You run a jewelry company that's based in Scottsdale, Arizona, yes. Addison Taylor Fine Jewelry. You guys were doing just fine, right? You make gorgeous things, beautiful things. But there was something nagging at you, if I might just sort of put the story in those terms. You kind of feel that you have a calling.
Yes.
And you're asked to do a lot of things to help out charities, and you meet a lot of people. And so what you've done is created this Tree of Life movement to sort of help people in a very tangible way. And it all has to do with this necklace. So share that with us, Scott.
Well, it goes back to opening your heart to receive. When we quiet our minds, we receive such beautiful messages, and we were inspired to create this Tree of Life intention stick. And over the last 2 years of fine-tuning and just having beautiful visions, and the tree wrapping around the pendant, and just the words Marla and I kept choosing, it just kept falling into place. And from the stories and the people that were receiving them, we didn't realize how special and how powerful this truly has become.
So show the audience, you have one of the necklaces
yes,
there,
yes.
So we can sort of explain what we're talking to. And for those who are listening, can you describe the necklace?
Yes, so it's not a piece of jewelry. This was something we saw as a healing tool that we found out much later of how powerful and special this is. And what we're doing is Marla and I came up with very special and powerful words. And I'll read just a few, and you'll understand what's actually taking place. Believe, faith, gratitude, mindful, blessed, peace, consciousness, happiness, love, joy, be, let it be. But we felt the two most important were health and eventually oneness. And as we're choosing that word, whether it's actually being spoken or it's coming from our heart, it's being heard. And we're actually taking that word and putting it inside the Tree of Life intention stick and wearing it close to our heart as a reminder and as a tool until we either perfect that word or share that or unify all of us. It's very special, and it's, like I said, such a blessing, but the stories that have been taking place are truly divine.
Now, Mar, tell me a little bit and share with the audience more about why you guys wanted to create this necklace. You're asked to contribute to a lot of various causes, and since you are successful, a lot of people seek things from you. And what I love is that you try to figure out a way that you could really give back, but in a healing sort of way. So you created this necklace, but it's very affordable. If I must say, it's actually very inexpensive. It's $40-some, right?
$49.99, correct.
Because you wanted it to be attainable.
Right.
Absolutely.
So in your words, Mar, what is the goal? What would you like to see when people gift that necklace to someone else, when you guys help charities by donating the necklaces and then they're given to people? What do you want to see happen? Because I know you have a vision for a big movement.
Yes, thank you. Exactly. So our vision, well, first of all, we received the downloads, as we were talking about earlier, that it was channeled through us because we always knew that we have a great platform, and how were we going to use this platform to reach everyone around the world? And that was through this intention stick. And so the goal is really to heal yourself. Make sure to heal yourself first, to fill yourself up with love. And that is the hardest thing for people to do. It's hard for someone to look in the mirror and look at themselves truly and say, I love you, and try saying I love you with your name. It's difficult. So this really is to heal yourself first, so then you can heal another, and then another, and then so on, where we're all connecting, because we are a collective consciousness.
And you guys are very spiritual people.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how you talk so eloquently about what intention means, what it means to you, and how you believe it can benefit other people. If you can, Mar, just kind of differentiate intention from I wish, I hope, because there's...
Right. Well, we say hope. We don't even use hope in our vocabulary. I'll tell you why. Hope is a beggar. Hope, there's still doubt in hope. So we say faith because hope walks through the fire and faith leaps over it. And so we believe in faith. How about faith, not hope?
And you have been hearing already. You just launched the necklaces publicly, and it's
4 weeks ago.
It's been a labor of love. I can't underscore enough how much passion you guys have put into this project.
Yes.
It's not like you just, let's create a necklace and put it out there. This is something that you feel very deeply. So it just recently launched, and not only the wearing the necklace being a part of it, but sharing the story. So you guys have a huge Facebook audience on Addison Taylor, your Addison Taylor page, almost 200,000 people. Mm-hmm. And now you've launched a new Tree of Life movement page. And your hope here is something that I love, because it is connecting people through their stories.
Yes.
And already Scott is he won't mind me saying this, but he's a emotional kind of guy. And so as you've kept me updated, a lot of these stories bring you to tears.
I would say all of them, because it's, when I say Marla and I's hearts are just overflowing with pure love, it's an understatement. And to know we're helping or healing another or inspiring, that's what it's about. And this, again, as we say, through our business, we found our true purpose. This is what we're here to do for the rest of our lives, to unify all mankind, to unify and bring togetherness in the world where it's so divided today. It's not about, as we say, there's no black, white, pink, yellow. There's no Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Muslim. The souls are the same. We're all one. It's just we're so far off the path of realizing that, and this is to bring us back. And yes, the stories for everyone we've been helping and sharing this with, it's the most beautiful thing you could ever ask for.
Now let's tell people a few examples. So I'm going to draw off one, because he's a gentleman who's publicly shared his story, so I feel comfortable that he's okay with this. His name is Tony Felice, and he has been battling Lyme disease
Yes.
in a pretty horrific way. It's
Yes.
very debilitating. And he walked into your office. You invited him over to tell him about the intention stick.
Well, I'll share the story. So after morning prayer and then meditation, Tony came into my mind very strongly, and I reached out to him because I see what he's going through. And he came into our gallery, and I started sharing the whole backstory of the Tree of Life movement and what we're doing right now with the Tree of Life intention stick. And Tony's a strong man. He's not a frail man. He kind of bent over the desk like this and started crying. And I said, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry." And he says, "No, you don't understand. The words you're speaking are verbatim from the book of Kabbalah." And that moved me because I've never opened up the book of Kabbalah. And he had studied prior to Arizona in Los Angeles for 20 years. So that just touched me, and I started telling a little bit more of the story. And he took 3 words and put them into his intention stick. And I walked around the desk, and I put it around his neck, and he started bawling. And I'm talking crying. And I held him. I just hugged him to let him know I'm there. And he said, "It's gone." And I'm like, "What's gone?" And he says, "All of the pain in my body." And he said, "Scott, I woke up this morning, I couldn't even get out of bed. I was in that much pain. I don't even like to take an ibuprofen." He said, "Because your heart is so pure and it's coming from pure love, and you gave this to me as a gift with expecting nothing in return. It healed me." And he started moving his arms, and prior, you could see the pain in his face and discoloration that he was in. And when I say I saw him shift to rosy cheeks and the biggest smile that you could ever have asked for, it just made me start crying. And he said, "I am the biggest skeptic in the world." He says, "I'm a scientific logic brain person." He goes, "I'm a believer, and you have our support with whatever you need." And that was truly witnessing a miracle in front of my eyes.
And that story repeats itself time and time again. I mean, you've sent the intention sticks to people who are cancer sufferers,
Yes,
and people who are depressed. I mean, on and on, a lot of very significant issues.
In 4 weeks, hundreds of stories that are coming out of the woodworks that we can't even keep up with. We feel so blessed. It's just incredible.
So what do you say to people who are cynics and say, come on, guys?
That you have to believe not only in the words, but in yourselves, and stop letting programmed DNA or people push you down. You are just as important. You matter. You have purpose. And we know the gift from above wants us to not only help another, but also for others to continue to help others around the world, so we can actually have heaven on earth. We don't need to die before we go to heaven. It's here. We just have to see things a little more clearer.
I would have just easily said fear, that most people make decisions based on fear.
Yes.
What do you see being the bigger picture here? And what if we sit down, which we will, in 6 months or a year, and check back in? What is your intention?
Well, the whole purpose that we saw going back 2 years ago is that it's to unify all mankind, to create in every language, and even in Braille, and on one day, whether it is a year from now or 3 or 5, that we all insert the word oneness to unify us back together as one. And we will. There's no try or hope, as we said. This is actually happening. But everyone is just as important as Marla and I. It's not about a piece of jewelry. It was a gift we received to help heal everyone and heal the world, because it's also about we're planting trees in that person's honor to give back to Mother Earth as well.
How does this make you feel, Scott, when you see these stories coming in?
Blessed. The gratitude that Marla and I have, I can't even tell you without crying, because it's just like I said earlier, it's our hearts are so full and overflowing, and for us to be able to share this with just one or hundreds or thousands or millions or billions, which we will, I couldn't have asked for, or we could not have asked for the most beautiful gift to ever been received.
You know, one of the things that occurs to me about this that's a really beautiful thing is, so you guys kindly gave me an intention stick, and as I started gifting them out as well. And then I'll give one to someone and they'll say, I need one for my sister. And Zenobia will tell you this, her sister's on a transplant list, been going through a very hard time. And it's interesting because you start to hear more about the stories,
yes,
right? And I think that's a really cool thing. And I just so appreciate you guys bringing me into this on the ground level. And I'll tell all of you, one of the things that I have a challenge with is I want to help everyone.
Yes.
And that's not always the best business, which my producer Shannon, he's making a face at me over there. So my business is growing. And so I need to be cognizant of how I navigate things now, but I put in success. Because I feel like the bigger my business grows, Inspired Media 360, the more people I can help, which is basically what you guys have done.
100%.
I put that word in success. I got more business now than I know what to do with. I got people calling me to do incredible campaigns with them, content marketing. I mean, just fun things, creating new shows. It's been really cool wearing the necklace, sharing the story, hearing other people's stories. Where can people find out more?
They can visit us on the treeoflifemovement.org, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They can call us personally at the gallery. We're here to share and help inspire or uplift or educate. Again, it's all about us. It's not about Marla and I, it's about everyone.
We're
collectively,
all
the us.
We're all messengers.
Mar, just in closing, how does it make you feel to know that you have found success? You guys have a great business model. You're doing okay. But at the same time, you have found a way to give back so profoundly. How does that make you feel?
A sense of satisfaction. If you've ever had the moment in your life where you feel like you are satisfied, that's the feeling I have all the time. When I get to see someone heal in front of my eyes and know that I've touched them, there's no currency bigger than that.
Thank you guys so much. I encourage people to check out your Tree of Life Movement Facebook page. They can read all of the stories right there for themselves.
Yes.
And you guys are getting tons of new stories every day. Excited to see what happens next. Thank you so much. And thanks to all of you for listening to Carey Pena Reports on iTunes and on Stitcher, and for joining along with us on Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to go on and subscribe to our Facebook page at Inspired Media 360. Today's show produced and engineered by the wonderful Shannon Hernandez, brought to you by Inspired Media 360. Until next time, stay inspired.